Peace. Welcome to Why Not Show Love Vlog Episode 5. Today's topic, change. My name is Artivist and founder of Creative Expressions. First off, I want to thank everybody who's been taking the time to check out any of these vlogs, write a comment, post, give feedback. I appreciate each and every one of you. If you haven't caught the other episodes, you can just look in the IGTV and they're all up in there. So let's talk about the changes going on right now, right here in New York City, all across the country, as well as globally. There are a bunch of protests and riots going on, primarily organized around the killing of black and brown people who are unarmed by police. This has caused a huge shift, not only in New York, but particularly all over America. And a big change is happening now is people are letting out their anger and their frustration. You know, there's lootings, police cars burning, and also setups by government agents to break windows and incite riots, as well as people who are just hurt and tired and fatigued that are letting out all their anger. I personally know I dealt with anger issues as someone who's survived attempted murders by stabbings, dealing with weapons, growing up in my own childhood experiences. And when I was younger, particularly post 9/11, I was heavily involved in the more traditional forms of protesting and anti-war rallies, traveling out to places, going to demonstrations, organizing and that. And when I was younger, I really went out there because, truthfully for me, I was angry. I was pissed at what was going on with our country, us being sent to war over oil, over capitalism, people dying, the targeting at that time against Muslim people and Muslim people being attacked post 9/11. Even though I'm not Muslim myself, I felt like groups are being targeted. We saw people getting assaulted. The way we flew on planes changed, and I had to deal with that anger in me. And I found those protests as a place where I could be angry and let out my frustration. But the reason I shifted in this time from not doing that is I would go there, get angry and scream about the problems in front of an oppressing class, in front of these same oppressors, systems protesting against the system of oppression, which is necessary. But what left me drained and even hurt was it didn't lead to systematic change. After 9/11, the protests, the war still went down in Afghanistan. We bombed countless countries. Numerous friends of mine came back from the military with PTSD. I went through my own situations with violence and I still went through it. So I had to start to look inner, or I chose to look inside and realize, okay, I can complain about the problem, but am I going to look inside myself and check myself and try to heal in myself from my own issues with anger? And is the way to change the system, is it going to just be achieved through protest? Now, I believe that's needed. We need people to know that this stuff going on isn't right. But we also need strategy and planning, because the system, those undercover agents and people that are inciting riots and breaking windows and setting things on fire, they're setting people off who are going to be triggered, and then they might jump in a store and loot, and 3 months later you're caught because these things are recorded on cameras. The protesters nowadays are going around with their phones, and facial recognition software is real. People are going to be tracked down and arrested for that. When protesters get arrested, they are going to take your fingerprints, scan your ID, scan your eyeballs, and collect data on you. They see what we talk about. So even when I post on social media, I understand that what I know can and will be used against me. And there was an anger around this in the system. But for me, I am looking to address that anger at the root cause, go deep into myself and explore where that comes from. Because before the systemic situations. There was things that went on in me ancestrally. We have ancestral traumas from coming from countries that were colonized, being enslaved, in my family history and everything. So there's generational traumas. There's so much that is underlined that when we go out there, it could trigger us. And I know that when I go out into the scene or I'm out there, I have to make sure I'm not just reacting on blind rage and emotion. So this has led me to more meditation, more physical fitness, letting out that anger through my body, studying my body, being aware of my body, and just knowing myself. Because if I go out there and I just react on emotion and anger, I can easily get caught slipping, put other people in danger, put myself in danger, and end up in a situation that is not beneficial to me, where I cannot serve and I cannot help. I also know that there's a need for empowerment, so that's why we're working on growing our own food, getting clean water, using filtration systems and all that. So I ask you, what are the changes you can make? I know I spent more than 5 years protesting in the streets, and that was a valuable time for me. Now it's time for me to move on to certain things that can lead to systemic change by changing myself and the way I operate. Shout out to everybody who's out there. Shout out to everybody who isn't. So those were some of the ways that I had to learn to change myself. And everything, like we said in the last vlog, is a process. I feel it was necessary for me to go through that very leftist mentality. I was smoking bud all day. I was angry. I was an angry youth. And I was supposed to be that way because I was programmed to be that way, I could say. But now, at this phase of my life, I'm looking to deprogram myself so I'm not being so reactive. Also, I'm choosing personally not to watch certain things or take in certain content, but be aware of what's going on. I don't need to feed myself things that are going to put me in positions that I'm not effective. But how are you handling this time? How are you dealing with the anger and frustration? And, hopefully you are dealing with it in some way. But hit me with a comment, hit me with a DM. We also are doing virtual ciphers. The next one is going to be June 5th. We did the Earth Day cipher. We did the Moon cipher. We did the Sun cipher. And now we're going to be doing the Eclipse cipher. And these are things where we're holding space for people to connect the way we would in an analog way, but digitally. That's one of the things I'm doing. I'm also employing people through my company, Creative Expressions, hiring people, paying them a fair rate, and making sure I'm building community that is changing things systemically. And we are becoming that change. But let me know your ideas. Let me know how you feel about what's going on. There's a whole lot of shit going on in New York. Whole lot of stuff going on around the world. I would love to hear from you. Hit us up with your ideas. Thank you to everybody who's been checking out this stuff. We know we got some inspiration from y'all. So start your own vlog. Share your thoughts. This is not advice. This is just speaking on your feelings, and you can be that change. We hope to see you soon in the analog as well as in the digital. And we hope to allow us to build community that can lead to the ultimate changes that we want to see